How's it going today, folks? My name's Jason. Today we're making homemade poutine, and we're gonna elevate it with duck bacon, duck stock. I didn't make homemade cheese curds because, who has the time for that? Didn't make duck bacon though, so that's how we make it fancy. Duck bacon, duck stock. So let's get started, and I'll show you how easy poutine is, even if you have not a lot of time. So let's get going. And of course, we are using some freshly milled wheat to make the roux for the gravy. So let's get going. Okay, so I'm just plugging in my deep fryer. I've already got oil inside it. I really love this little thing. It holds just a few quarts of oil, and it's pretty simple. Turning it up to 330 degrees Fahrenheit while I turn my stove on to get my pan heated up. And I'm weighing out my soft white wheat for the roux. And I'm going for about 25 grams of flour here. And just like those magic bullet infomercial commercials, it's 1, 2, 3 seconds, and it's done. Yeah, if you remember those magic bullet infomercials, those were a lot of fun. And then scrubbing up a potato here, just to rough cut some fries. Of course, not peeling it to get that nice rough look on it. Roughly about 1/4 of an inch, but don't always make it perfect on every single one of them, but that's okay. Still gonna cook just fine. Just cutting them crossways here. And then just giving them a quick rinse to get some of that excess starch off. So I tend to find if I don't do that, they stick together a little bit more in the fryer. And then I'm just going to par cook it in the microwave for 2 minutes while I prepare my duck bacon. So this is duck breast that I've cured myself, and it's been cooked sous vide at 150 degrees for about 90 minutes. So it's just going skin side down so the fat can render out of it. And then I'm going to mix that fat along with some other fat that I rendered from the carcass of the whole duck that I got, that this breast came from. And I'm going to use that for the roux. Traditionally, it's supposed to be butter for the roux, but supposedly you can use any sort of fat. And so I'm just using duck because kind of a theme here. So into the fryer with my par cooked fries here, French fries. So basically there's cook 3 times. Once in the microwave, once at a low fry temperature, and then once at a high fry temperature for the golden brown outside. So in we go. And you can see the basket is basically big enough to hold 1 potato's worth of fries. Get some nice color on the breast here. So I'm going to take that out. Then start carving it up. Get the rest of my duck fat in there. And again, just kind of estimated that it was going to work out to be about 25 grams. So I matched that with the flour. So equal parts fat and equal part flour, roughly. And the duck stock I also made from the same duck that the rendered fat and the duck breast came from. Just getting that all melted. Then I'm going to add my flour in. Let's get it well mixed in and let it cook a little bit through, giving just a little bit of color as well. Making a mess also. So making sure all that flour is coated with as much fat as you can get. As well mixed in as possible. And then in with my duck stock. Basically just put the duck carcass, after I'd carved everything off of it, in a Dutch oven, and then set it at 200 degrees in my oven overnight with some leftover vegetable scraps that I keep in my freezer. Really quick way to make a tasty stock and use as much scraps as possible. Add in a pinch of MSG for that umami flavor. Get up to a nice boil and and then turn it down. And then start carving up the breast there. Looks nice all the way through, nice cross section, and of course it's delicious. Basically cure anything, it's going to be delicious, of course. So I'm just going to carve it up into bite-sized pieces while my gravy reduces there. You can see it's already starting to thicken up. And I'm only going to be using a portion of the breast for this meal, since it's only one meal. And the duck breast is kind of large. So the first fry is done, turning it up to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And letting that heat up while I continue to carve the breast and let the gravy cook down and thicken up. Another piece, I'm just going to set that aside and save it for later. In with some pepper for some flavor. And then, of course, some salt. I tend to go light on the salt in the stock so I can add it later. And add a little bit of lemon juice for some acidity to cut through any of the fattiness of the stock. And then into my little gravy container here, just because I like serving it out of there. And you can see that that's pouring really nicely, and it's got a nice consistency. I was really happy with that. The oil's back up to temperature, so in to get a nice golden brown color on that. And then, because this is a smaller fryer, so I use the fork to move the food around a little bit. Basically, the basket is big enough to hold like 1 or 2 servings, but it's the perfect size for a studio apartment, and I'm really loving this little fryer. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description below if you want to check it out. Make sure it's drained really well. And then, of course, season as soon as it comes out. I've read with any fried food, first thing you do when you take it out, season it. And then, of course, for safety, turn off the fryer and unplug it. And then it's a little bit more salt on the fries. And into my bowl. We're ready to start plating this. Then we're going to go in with some cheese curds. It's kind of a midweek thing, so I didn't want to make my own cheese curds. So I just got some from the grocery store. These are really good. And then in with bite-sized pieces of the duck breast bacon. Then, of course, the gravy. So here we have poutine with duck bacon and duck gravy, all ready in just about 30 minutes. So totally easy to do it at home, and I hope you give it a try. So I'll see you next time. Love cheese curds.
So good. I'll see you later.